Welcome back, guys, to Module 2. Today, we will talk about cultivating your awareness, identifying your current mindset, observing your thoughts and emotions, understanding pendulums, how external influences hook you. So, guys, identifying your current mindset. It all comes down to observing your thoughts. So, you know, most people are not aware, right? They're not aware of how they're feeling. I mean, what I mean by being aware is just like, I think you understand me. Wake up. Like you observe yourself. What are you doing here? How are you feeling? What thoughts come to your head? If you react in a, just like lucid dreaming. I don't know if you had experiences, if you heard of lucid dreaming. You are being aware that you are dreaming. You understand that this is a dream. This is not normal, right? And you begin to control this dream. Same thing with reality. You begin to understand and to know that, hey, my thoughts. So you begin to, so what I want you to be is to be conscious when choosing your thoughts. So how you identify your current mindset is basically, observe yourself for 1 day, 2 days, observe yourself. Just see how you react. Your body is trained and conditioned. It's conditioned. And so observe yourself and see how you think. Like if something bad happens or if something good happens, or basically, how do you talk to people? You talk to people and you be like, hey, those are not the topics that I want to talk about. I don't want to complain. I don't want to, talk about. So you need to be aware. Like what thoughts come to your head? What is your mindset? What like are you positive, or like is your positive talk more, or is your negative talk, prevails your positive talk? What is your mental state? Like how do you behave? Are you reacting to every negative things that's happening in your life, or no? So you need to identify your current mindset. So you need to think of your head as a, I don't know, as a board. And so thoughts come to it. You observe these thoughts that are, you know, some, like bad thoughts that are coming to you. You can observe them and let them pass. Or you can just focus or shift your attention to a different thing. Or whenever you have a bad thought coming to you, you can make an affirmation. If you have a thought of feeling weak, or that you will lose, or that whatever, you can take an affirmation and read it. No, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. So you shift your attention to a positive thing, and you shift your focus. Sometimes you can just have you can just imagine yourself. For example, what works for me, what I do is, for example, I imagine you know, I imagine a space. And if a thought comes, I imagine that I send it to a vortex, or I send it to a liquid that is basically underneath it is, I don't know, black hole or hell. You can think whatever you want. So any thought comes, you just imagine in your mind's eye, you take this thought, you just throw it to the trash. And the whole, like imagine yourself floating in space, right? And just sending this thought into the black hole, or sending this thought into the yeah, imagine a pond, a pool, I don't know, something like a liquid. So you throw it there, and that's it. Underneath it, you could imagine whatever you want. Hell, fire, blackness, or maybe just nothing. So they go there, they disappear, evaporate. That's it, no more. There are many tactics you can use to get rid of negative thoughts, especially if you observe them, and especially if you so so it's one thing to observe them, and it's another thing to not give them energy. You can observe them, they can come and go. That's totally that's normal. You are a human. But don't give them energy. Like don't react. Like you see a thought coming to you, don't react. You know, your your nervous system, it's used to providing you the thoughts that you used to feed it. So you are conditioned to, for example, every now and then, sometimes you feel hate. For example, let me give you a very, very, very important like topic right now. This is one of the discoveries that I understood about myself too. And maybe Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you listen to him, if you are in this path, I think you will get me. So, for example, some people have like some people face some people are always victims. I don't know if you've noticed that. Some people always encounter bad people, like at work, at home, relationships. There is always this villain, this monster, this devil, right? At work, like I said, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, uh, anywhere, like this person will find a villain and will be a victim and will feel hate and will feel frustrated and will have this you know there is this game people play, a um victim goes to a prosecutor, and then there is the villain, they find a villain and they are the victim, so they go to a prosecutor, they go to someone first, they ask someone's help to mitigate. The prosecutors try to talk to the villain, so the villain leaves the victim alone. Then, if the prosecutor doesn't do his job well, the victim becomes the prosecutor, and the prosecutor becomes the villain. You see, and that's the circle that people play in. Like, hey, like yesterday she was like that person was a victim. Today they are angry, and that their life was, and they blame someone. Regardless of the psychological game of this triangle that people are playing, you are conditioned. So if you always find someone bad, it means that your body is addicted to hate. It's very hard to admit. It's very hard. It's not easy. Like no one can, I mean, no, like people only meet you, people only be honest, people only can be honest with you. I heard this quote that people can only treat you the way they treat themselves, right? So if they have not been so strong enough to be honest with themselves, how do you expect them to be honest with you, right? So you sometimes you get frustrated, like I'm being honest with you, I'm sharing everything, like I'm being crystal clear, because you are, I don't know, you have worked your way up, you have gone so much, you leveled up basically as a character, but that person may not, right? And so you need to understand that. So sometimes people feel hate. They are addicted to feeling hate. Maybe since they were from 0 to 7 year old, maybe they had an abusive parents. Maybe they had, God knows what they had, but they are addicted to the feeling of hate. And so every time school, work, new relationship, they will always be the victim and they will always be feeling hate. And there will be logical reasons for making someone a villain. There will be real logical. I give another example. Some of you are acquainted. Maybe you have neighbors who always argue, right? Maybe you have aggressive relatives who always, on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, throw stuff around the house, get angry, scream. And every time you see that as a pattern. It's happening always. And if you ask that person, why are you like what's happening? That person will not know. They don't realize deeper into their subconscious that they are addicted to the feeling of hate. And they will be trying to convince you honestly and logically that, hey, my son is not doing this. I told him to do this and he did the opposite. He went and, like my clothes that I bought, the new, like they will give you any, like the reasons will be real. And they attracted that. They attracted that because they are addicted to the feeling of hate. If you tell them that, they will hate you for that. They will be like, what the fuck you talk about? You think you know me better than I do? And if you explain to them, hey, listen, there is a pattern from young age, and if you are addicted to hate, you will find reasons, and it will continue to happen. Good luck. If what I wanna what I mean by that is, if you identify your thoughts and your pattern in this way, you will be able to analyze yourself. You will be able to think, okay, that was a pattern. I was addicted to the feeling of hate. Maybe I was addicted to the feeling of victimhood, right? And so now it's time to change. And when you decide to change, it will be, so if you identify the problem, you are 50%, you have solved the problem 50%. Another 50% is only to shift your focus and attention with affirmations and visualization to a new lifeline, to a new mindset, allowing only the positive, ignoring the negative. And because you have been living this life for quite a time, you will encounter some habitual negative thoughts flowing to your brain habitually out of habit. And all you need to do is just remain patient. Just be patient and work your way on replacing negative thoughts with positive. Just remain positive. Like I said, affirmations. See yourself as a positive person. Speak about yourself. Try to eliminate negative words. Try to eliminate self-destructive criticism. Try to eliminate useless songs that tell you and brainwash you into sex, drugs, just get rid of that. Listen to affirmations, listen to meditation, guided meditation. Listen to something good. You have your affirmations on YouTube. You can put that on repeat while you're working on or cleaning, whatever. You affirmations for a child, you affirmations for the inner child, you affirmations for success, for abundance. And you begin to, and so when you listen to these you affirmations, you receive this positive flow of thoughts and informations to your head that they will surpass the negative information, the negative thoughts that come to you. And so this way you will win. And you just need to be patient. It takes time. But eventually when you get there, you'll be so happy. You'll be so happy. It's just like a process. It's just like going to gym. You need to be humbled. You need to feel weak. You need to feel vulnerable in order for you to grow. Okay? So that was the identifying karma, observing your thoughts. Yeah, observing your thoughts and emotion, understanding pendulums, how external influences hook onto you. So now let's talk about influences and pendulums. So like I said, let me go back to my example of a lifeline. So this is your life, right? This is your lifeline. Or let's say, let me just give you an example. Let's say you had a negative life. This is your red lifeline. You had a negative life, negative friends, negative thoughts, cascade of bad events, whatever. And so now you begin to be, you are aware of stuff and you begin to change your life. So you began shifting your life direction. Okay. And imagine this blackboard that I'm using. Imagine this is an alternative space, quantum field. So you have some good pendulums. One way I like to think of pendulums is like a coronavirus where it's, those tentacles are just like tubes that, so, for example, if at times of war, for example, at times of war, there is a war pendulum. We are better, they are bad. And so this pendulum is, those are people, right? People in the army or mob mentality. I don't know. People have, so this pendulum gives them energy, and, like they give the pendulum their energy, and pendulums feed them. And so they are asleep and they just behave the way the pendulum control. It's like pendulum controls them. They're not aware. If they get out of that pendulum, they may think of the situation in a different way. But as long as they are in the pendulum, as long as they are together, it controls them. You can also think of a pendulum as a suction vortex that sucks people in. Think about it the way you want. The concept is the same. So there are some good pendulums and there are some bad pendulums. And human beings and people, they can't exist without a pendulum, right? Even if you talk about, like, people have to have a pendulum. And you can choose your pendulum consciously, right? So, for example, if you think of yourself as a top 5% of people, like you are very, let's say, successful, for example, it can be your self-image, right? Like it's kind of my pendulum, right? For example, okay, what do? I'm a healthy person. I'm successful. There are stuff that I do and stuff that I don't do. So that's a pendulum. And in times of even reality transurfing and this quantum shift is also a pendulum. It gives you energy by the knowledge and by the information that you receive from it to navigate through life. So, it gives you energy, but not every pendulum is destructive. So some pendulums are destructive. So, for example, if you are a gang member, if you get out of that pendulum, sometimes you can lose your life. Sometimes you can, like there are destructive pendulums. Like if you no longer wish to serve the pendulum with your energy, if you no longer supply it, it can, the consequences can be dire. But there are some pendulums, benevolent pendulums, that you choose consciously. If you decide to quit the pendulum, there is no punishment. Like it doesn't punish you in any way. Like there are some good pendulums, benevolent, and there are some bad pendulums. So you just need to navigate. And so going back to my topic, you used to live in a low light, like you used to have this, let's say, a red lifeline. And red pendulums, like I said, negative pendulums, villains, you know, pendulums exist, right? And so they were hooking onto you. You were radiating energy at their level. So they were hooking onto you and you were giving them your energy. Bad neighbor, noisy neighbor, the villain at work, the bully at school, the bad person here, the bad person there. And so you were just existing. You were not consciously moving through life, right? So those pendulums were hooking onto you. So what's going to happen right now, as long as you decide to change your life, like I said, you will change your direction. And when you change direction, some pendulums will try to hook you still. But if you are aware that this is a pendulum, and that when you change your lifeline, when you shift your life to another dimension or to another version, to another, right, scenario, you will encounter some pendulums. Maybe yes, maybe no. And if you do, you just need to be aware. Like maybe there is a sudden bill coming, maybe there is something different, weird happening around you, like you notice, like what the hell is happening? Or maybe, I don't know, you put YouTube music on repeat and then it doesn't, and it stops, and then some other songs plays. It doesn't matter what happens. you need to understand that you are moving and you're focused and you're moving through. So basically you are moving through this space and you navigate through these pendulums. So that sometimes they're trying to hook onto you, but if you understand that this is a pendulum, to not give it energy, it will leave you alone. If a benevolent pendulum hooks onto you, let's say there are some pendulums that are neither good nor bad, and you give it energy, it will be out of your choice. But you should understand that if you navigate through the alternative space, there are places and pendulums located, there are stuff. And so navigating through life and getting this new version of yourself requires this acknowledgement and this knowledge so that you don't get lost again. So for example, if there is a bad pendulum in this area that is trying to hook onto you and you're not aware of this fact and you end up giving it, what is the blue color? And you end up giving it your energy. This is blue, your energy. So if you, for example, react to your neighbor's noise or your neighbor's negative behavior, it will throw another hook and another hook and another hook. It will be like, yes, now I've got to get this energy. I got to get more energy. It's a good prospect that I have now. And you give it your energy, and no wonder why you have no energy left for building your life. No wonder why you will not have energy for waking up early. No wonder why you will not have energy to do anything, and you will be depleted. And a cascade of things will happen, like of the same kind, until they drain you completely. And when you have nothing more left to give them, the pendulum, they will leave you alone. So if you know the end consequence, if you know what's going to happen in the end, why give it energy in the first place? Understand? So a pendulum is an informational structure of any kind. It can be uh, military pendulum. People here behave in a certain way. You are a man. You don't do, like that's a pendulum. You believe that, you abide by that, and you follow that pendulum. It can be, like I said, reality transurfing, but it's not red. Like you can make it a benevolent one, like a blue pendulum. You can make it, you know, um, like I said, guys, there are pendulums, and so it can be a vortex. It can be a pendulum. Like those are people hanged, right? However you like to think of it, guys. But that's very important for you to understand. I hope I answered most of your questions. I hope you got insights. If you have any questions, we will have one-on-one after this module. I mean, not module. After you listen to all modules, at the end, we will have a discussion. So understanding pendulums, how I still emphasis hook onto you. You got it, guys. If you have any questions regarding this matter, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer. So, yeah, I'll see you in module 3, guys. Thank you.